Hello.
Hi,
Hello.
Vlad. How are you?
Well, good, all good. And whoever gave the bet that I am from the USSR countries was 100% correct.
That was
Okay.
me.
I was born in Belarus.
There you see.
Okay.
Belarus.
And
What
then
was your
for,
first currency trade in Belarus? Do you remember it? You were buying bread for,
Yep, we were buying bread for sausage.
Anyway, Vlad, you remember how to share the screen here on Zoom? It's that green box.
Yeah. I still belong to the generation of technology. How are you?
Good. It's good to hear your voice, buddy.
Thank you very much, and very good to be here, and thank you for having me.
Yeah, and you know what? I want to start off with this. What's your edge?
Meaning?
Meaning, really, everyone has a successful trader has something where they could. That's what I mean. It's hard for a lot of people to even define it. What their edge is. Would your edge be trading without margin?
100% yes. How long do we know each other, Dave? We know each other like long time now, right?
Yeah, we were.
And you are.
We were teenagers. Yeah. So is that an edge that you came to? I'm sure when you first started, like all of us, we're trying to make as much money as fast as we can, and we know what usually happens trying to do that. And did you go through like a paradigm shift in your trading once you deleveraged, and you didn't have to worry about what happens in a few days ranges for the position to work out?
Yeah, well, so you're right. Like everybody else, which makes sense somehow. I started with smaller capital. I didn't have the money back then, and I had to grow. You cannot grow unless you take the risks. It's not a secret. It's truth. That has to be a money or capital you can allow yourself to risk, because if you trade with money that you cannot allow yourself to lose, nothing good will happen with that. Very important. I saw unfortunately, so many traders coming into the market like their last chance to survive or something like that. And you cannot trade under pressure, exactly like you cannot do any other successful work under heavy pressure. So I started with leverage. I was I consider myself lucky because I was doing that you remember these days, 2006, 2007, 2008, when the market was, you open the day, it's like 300 pips up or down. Right. You didn't need to do much, just kind of go with breakouts of highs, lows, and it would work. So I was pretty lucky then. That helped me to grow pretty quick. But after I did find the place of the capital I need to do a good living, I went back on all the terms of leverage. Nowadays I dislike leverage. I think this is a drug, and it's a recipe for failure.
Okay.
If you it's like,
So aren't you glad I defined your edge? Now when someone asks you, you'll have an answer.
Correct.
Anyway, so yeah, it's like a drug, and we all know what happens with drugs. You end up ODing.
Exactly.
Usually,
in the beginning it feels good, and then boom.
Right. Okay, so let's move to the daily euro that you're showing here. What are the colored horizontal bars representative of? Swing pivot areas, fib extensions?
Yeah. Well,
what are they?
I always work with higher time frames to try and define the coming direction.
Okay.
If it's a trend or if it's end of the trend. So I start always with the higher time frame, normally weekly and the daily. And the reason I have the euro dollar is because I think we might have a very interesting trading year on this pair 2021. Not that 2020 was not interesting all related to this pair, but I believe this is just the beginning of something big. And that's what if you are okay with that, that's what I wanted to show today.
Okay. All right. Something big to the upside.
Yes, but
Okay.
with a correction ahead, most likely. There is a big sell-off of the dollar recently.
Yeah.
The institution selling the dollar massively, especially with the elections and
Yeah.
and all this mess.
Don't laugh.
I am doubtful it will last for too long from here. I personally expect some surprises on or surprising swings on this direction, but technically speaking, the way I see that we are now in a second corrective wave of the euro dollar, which, if all goes good, should take us somewhere closer to 130. Of course, it could be a little bit lower, it could be a little bit higher, but that's pretty much the expectation.
Okay.
And taking that into consideration into the longer view, going to shorter terms view, I definitely like the way that this divergence is developing. We have a
Okay.
key zone here.
Yeah.
The bearish divergence developing is on the MACD here, currently on the moving
Yeah.
average. Now, I don't know if it will complete the move down or not. As for now, it's just divergence in potential, as the MACD still not complete a second high. But assuming this area would hold, then my personal expectations would be that we are heading towards significant correction.
How about 113, where your red moving average comes in?
It would be classical, anywhere in between 116 to 113 of these lows.
Yeah.
And these highs would be classical area.
Yeah.
Where from, again,
then you get 130. Yeah.
Assuming the analysis is right and the market would agree with my lines, I expect a further continuation of.
Okay. All right. So let me ask you this: have you taken? Are you looking to play this counter trend move that may be just starting to develop here? Maybe it's going to take a pullback and one more shot up, but to have two divergences instead of just one. Do you think that's possible?
That's normally the time where I drop to lower time frame, daily, and sometimes even like 4 hour to make the timing.
Yeah.
And also the daily is slowing down significantly. I believe that this area, the 122 surrounding the 122, is the area where we should expect a correction to start. So some false breakout here, for example, would be a classical sign that the bulls are losing momentum and potential turnaround is coming.
All right. So what do you think the narrative is going to be? Risk off? Is Trump going to hit? Trump and Israel going to hit Iran before January 20th? You're laughing. Do you think anything's going to happen there?
No, I'm laughing because I would not be surprised of anything that you mentioned to happen. It could be anything. It could be something in the Middle East, like the last word of Trump,
Yeah, and Crew's been acting great in a COVID environment.
Yeah,
So I kind of think that maybe they're starting to price in some geo risk into the price of oil. What do you think?
And we also don't know how all the vaccine thing is going to work out, right? I mean,
yeah, right.
This is a huge subject by itself, and no one guarantees success. I mean, everybody expecting that and to put a V on a great battle with the COVID-19, but no one really knows if that's the end.
Are you in lockdown? Are you in lockdown up there?
More like restrictions here around Toronto.
Okay. And let me ask you this. A lot of people know somebody that's been touched by COVID. Do you know anybody?
I know a few people, yes.
Okay. Survived?
Luckily, yes. Fortunately,
okay, good. Thank God. All right. So euro correction and then much higher because don't you think right now, and I've been trying to think of it, can you think of one bullish dollar narrative? I mean, everyone, the narratives are, Fed, stimulus, political upheaval in the US. It's hard to find a bullish narrative. Could it be yields? I mean, the 10-year has gotten to 1% a couple of times. If we break out over 1%, we could go 130, 150. Could that play a role in a correction in the euro?
Oh yes, definitely. But again, I pretty much think it's going to come from some political
Okay.
some political failures. It might be surprises from the courts, even though nobody gives it a chance, including myself. But the last word was not said yet. There might be some surprises. It might be something new coming out of
Nowhere.
once and if Biden really takes the control, then no one can still anticipate how his view on the economy is going to lead. But personally, I think it's going to come somewhere from there.
Okay. All right.
Failure
So
of Brexit also could be trigger, right?
it could be. Yeah, there's so many pots bubbling on the stove, right?
Exactly.
But I mean, you're one of the very few I talk to that could come up with multiple narratives for the dollar to come off. How about a 20% correction in the S&Ps? And we don't know what the news would be. What's your view with the markets making new highs, all-time highs going into year end? You have any clues that are telling you that it's a little bit too much, too far, too fast up here?
Yes. I belong to the group of people that think that it lost the connection to the real economy. Somehow, I don't know why. Of course, it's easy to say it's the easy money, printing, and all these kind of things. Yes, it makes sense, but it's somehow the recent concentration that we see on the market. I mean, that's huge. That's the huge companies. The rest, they don't do so well. It's Tesla, it's Apple, it's Google, it's Microsoft, it's these guys, and that's way too much concentrated. Looking backwards in history, that's what we do in technical analysis, right? All these concentrated periods normally did not end well.
And you know what? All those issues that you just mentioned, except for Google, which has recently made a new all-time high, Microsoft is well off its highs. Apple's way off its highs. Amazon's way off its highs. And the NASDAQ 100 is making new highs. I'm wondering, since they were the concentration, MAGA and FANG, of the NASDAQ 100, I don't even know what's leading the way to push the market up to new highs, because if you look at all these shares that I just mentioned, they are not.
Indeed. There's too much money in a very small place.
Yeah.
Not good. Normally, that's not a good sign. Again, is there a real reason for that to explode right now? The answer is I don't see any. But the same thing we can say about 2007 and 8. Nobody saw that coming. Of course, there are all those who
after the fact. Well, exactly. They say it all the time.
Exactly.
We're gonna the market's gonna crash. The market's gonna crash since 1982.
Yeah, exactly. We hear some economists started from 2017, if I remember correct, saying the crash is coming. Okay, we are into 2021 very soon.
Yeah.
And the crash didn't really come. It was a big correction here.
If you blinked your eye, you missed it. Right? I mean, like the COVID crash. If you just were Rip Van Winkle and you went to sleep for a few months, there wasn't a crash. So any other instruments that you're considering being important? I assume with your view on the euro that you probably have a bullish posture after a pullback in precious metals as well. Am I right?
Yes, indeed. And that brings me back here. I do expect corrections. I do not think they are going to be too long, and they should be. Technically speaking, the corrections that will lead for the next portion of buys. And I see that the same on the Aussie dollar and Kiwi dollar, especially on these two. Aussie dollar, from my point of view, of course I might be totally wrong, but the way I see that, it's one of the best opportunities because the waves here are way clearer. It failed to hold below the 2008 low. Instant reversal with a pretty impressive candle combinations here.
Yeah.
Massive bullish divergence. So the way I see that, we are again heading here into very deep correction.
Okay, can we get a pullback in Aussie first to, if the Euro's going to correct to 116 to 113, can Aussie pull back to 68, 67?
Ideally, anything like 070 zone or slightly lower would be simply amazing opportunity to get involved.
Okay, and there's I know one of your favorite pairs, Aussie Kiwi. I'm so shocked it wasn't your first chart here today, but it seems to be coming out of the hole a little bit here. You favor this during the bull move. You expect an Aussie for Aussie to outperform Kiwi?
Yeah, yes, I do. I think it was several months ago when we last discussed. It was also
every time you come here, you're talking about. That's why I had to bring it up, because I felt, gosh, there's something missing. What do we talk about all the time? And,
but I feel honored you remember it's there. So I think it's a great zone. The 105. It's a very strong psychological number. We can see it was a massive support the whole 2019 and 20.
Yeah.
On 19 was resistance. Now it's like
okay,
turning into the supportive area. It holds. That's the bottom line. And looking on the longer time frame, again, when I check the waves, that's what I see. It's classical ending, fake breakout on the bottom, massive bullish divergence. We switch now for the first time for higher highs. I mean, that looks promising. The bullish hidden divergence also looks like a great opportunity. So personally, I think anything like 105, 102 is a place for buys.
Are you avoiding cable until anything happens?
No, well, to be honest, I took a shot. I know it's very risky. I took a shot on the cable 2 days ago, I think. On the short, on the sell direction. The idea here is, of course, not because it's a great technical opportunity. It's mainly because the risk reward should be working seriously in my favor. If it works, it's a great risk reward coming.
Okay.
I think pound dollar
to
for
the
long
upside,
term,
like 150, 140, 150, something like that, right?
Correct.
All right. Then here's the key question. You like both euro after pullbacks, and you like cable.
I like them all.
Is euro pound going to just be sideways? We've had a bit of a rally in euro pound, but now it's starting to negate. Technicals are looking lousy after today, maybe. Is this just a non-trade, a range trade, and who knows which is going to outperform the other? I
totally agree with you. Even though I carry my bearish view here, I expect further move down. Okay. But that's very, very tricky waves and market conditions to deal with.
Okay.
Not sure it worth the risk, to be honest.
Okay, so that was my thinking after having traded this for a long time. I thought we might get to 92, 94, head back up there, because I always believed that true bull markets and true bear markets in the dollar, true bull markets in FX, that the euro, like the old days, the Deutschmark would lead the Swiss, okay? And now that there's no Deutschmark, it's the euro would lead the pound in a true bull market, but that might just be old school stuff that doesn't mean anything anymore.
And who say it doesn't mean anything? I mean, all look at Warren Buffett. This is a classical old school, right?
Yeah.
And yet his actions.
We must have gone to different schools, because we've had different outcomes in our lives.
Well,
Warren's only done like a shade better than me. But it's been fun talking to you, Vlad. Your views are great. You want to wrap it up with one more, or you want to just go to where people could find you? Your call.
Let's do one more. If
okay,
I don't see the questions, if you have any, Maybe something that
Okay,
people
let's
say.
see if we have any questions for Vladimir, guys? Going USD CAD
Ah, that
and then
is
silver.
is this question coming from a Canadian or or not?
No, it's coming from someone who makes up names and comes in here.
The way I see the dollar CAD is like the other instruments is bearish. I expect to see here a corrective cycle in two waves or any sort of ranging pattern.
Yeah.
I don't see like new lows coming definitely, but anywhere in between 125 down to 120 is logical zone from my point of view.
Yeah.
And from the way I see that, it's still the rallies. I do expect corrections, yes, but I don't see this is a turnaround. I think this is just to opportunity to join further move down.
Okay, and wrap it with silver.
Deal. Now the silver is, from my point of view, again, it's amazing opportunity to get involved in the buys for the long term. I'm lucky in this meeting because there are some clear waves here, right? Developing. Beautiful turnaround of divergences, of false breakout, and mainly the fact it never went below such a psychological level like 10. It was dancing around, but that's it. Higher highs starts to develop, so any drop, like the current situation that happens.
Okay, same thing. So we pull back to 20 or 18, that you back up the truck.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Why don't you show your website where people could hang out with you and learn from you? And
definitely,
I learned from you today. So
thank you very much. Oh, hold on.
And you're not that active on Twitter, but you could follow, unless you're getting more active, you could follow Vladimir at Vladimir Ribakov on Twitter.
Did I press on something here? Because
you just you stop sharing the screen, so you have to share the screen again with the green button again.
3 screens in front of me, and okay, you see.
Look at that guy. You look like you're running for prime minister of Canada.
Is it showing now?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, so that's the club. That's where I hold my daily live meetings where we talk about all the trading opportunities as they happen. That's Traders Academy Club. And we also do...
do you do them live?
Yes.
You don't do them. You do them live?
Yep.
Wow. Okay. No
live
masks.
What do you mean?
No one's wearing a mask.
No.
You're not there in person. You do them live, but you're not getting together in an office like that and doing it.
Oh, no. I'm working from...
that's what I meant. Oh, home.
No. Working from home for more than a decade now.
Yeah, okay.
So that's the club where all the things happen real time.
Yeah.
And this is the blog where we do the daily contents with daily trading ideas, educational articles. It's as the name suggests, VladimirRibakov.com, and that's pretty simple to remember and follow.
All right.
I hope it again it can help to the community and give some valuable things.
Okay, and the website address is VladimirRibakov.com. Do you have club jackets with your name on the side, so people know that they're part of your club?
No,
like gangs have club jackets. You don't have one?
Not yet.
That'd be a great promo to get. Great promo for new members.
You just gave me an idea.
Vladimir Ribakov coat, huh?
You just gave me an idea. I might.
I have a million of them. All right, so Vlad, happy Hanukkah. I hope your family.
Happy holidays. Merry Christmas in advance to everybody. Whatever the holidays you guys celebrate, I wish you a very happy one. Stay safe. Well, thank you very much for having me again, and I wish you and yours.
It was fun and also insightful. Great combination. Thank you, Vladimir.
Thank you very much.
Everyone,
that's to everybody.
All right, that's Vladimir Ribakov. Follow him on Twitter at Vladimir Ribakov, or go to his website, www.vladimirribakov.com. And remember, whatever you're trading, whether you're out for pips or coins or crypto, don't just count those. Count your blessings. We'll see everyone tomorrow. Adios. Thanks, Vlad.
Thank you very much. Take care.
See ya. You're welcome, everyone.